People honestly don't believe me when I tell them this. Be honest. Do you ever worry that your pivots look messy? Like if someone saw all these changes on your LinkedIn or your resume, they'd think, uh-oh, red flag, she can't commit. Here's the truth. Hiring managers and clients don't make decisions based on your skills alone. They want to know your story and the thing that you think is holding you back, your pivots, your winding path, your non-linear journey can actually become your greatest asset, because every pivot is a story. It's an opportunity to give someone a glimpse into how you make decisions and take ownership for your path, for your life. When you learn how to frame your story, your pivots, your decision making with confidence, intention, and self-awareness, you stop blending in and you start becoming unforgettable. You become the kind of person that inspires others to take action too. And I know all of this because I lived it. So after winding down my tech startup in my 20s, I was exhausted. I had been chief everything officer, raising capital, hunting for clients, managing a team, wearing all the hats for almost 4 years. So when we wound the company down in the early days of the pandemic, I was craving focus and stability. I wanted to specialize and build depth in one area. I wanted someone to pay me for showing up and doing my best. And I was so tired of the constant hustling and uncertainty. So as a people person and a resourceful, scrappy problem solver, I decided to do relationship-focused roles that would help businesses grow. Customer success, relationship management, team leadership, and then software sales. And here's the thing. Every single interview that I went through forced me to explain my complicated, windy story again and again and again. I was always asked, why did I shut the company down that I'd poured years into? Why was I looking for something new again? Why did I actually think this role was the right next step for me? And at first, I was pretty intimidated to answer those questions. I remember staring at my resume one night thinking, how do I explain all of these pivots without sounding flaky or volatile or unreliable? Is anyone actually going to take me seriously? But shortly after that, something clicked. Storytelling was already in my DNA. As a founder, I had pitched investors and spoken on stages and been featured in the media. Storytelling was a huge part of my job as a founder. So then I decided to take a new, presentable, empowered storytelling approach to my career pivots. Instead of over-explaining, I shared my motivations behind each move. Instead of hiding, I shared what I had learned from each opportunity. Instead of looking indecisive, I positioned myself as intentional, authentic, and real with amazing self-awareness. And the result? I stopped overthinking my pivots and my path. Every time I wanted to move, I ended up with multiple offers. Job searching turned into, honestly, a little bit of an ego boost. I got to choose roles that aligned with my objectives, the growth I was seeking, and the stage of my career journey that I believed I was in. And I became confident that no matter where I wanted to go next, I could strategically and authentically storytell my way in. So how can you position yourself with a story that gets you noticed without starting and then shutting down a tech company? Step 1, move beyond tasks to show your growth path. Most people write their resumes and their LinkedIn profiles like a checklist of tasks, right? What they were responsible for on a day-to-day basis. But what can allow you to really stand out is the growth path, the story of where you were, the decisions you made, and how you evolved in that role, and what kind of impact you had on the company. So just try asking yourself, what was the bigger purpose of this role for the company? What choices did you make and why? What challenges did you solve for? How did this role shape who you are now? This story is your trajectory. It paints you as someone who's growing and learning and making intentional moves, not someone just doing exactly what's on the job description. Step 2, highlight your motivations with radical responsibility. You are unique because your decisions are unique. Your path is unique. Your lived experiences are unique. Your job is to frame those choices with empowerment. not apologizing for pivots, not blaming or complaining, not hiding your story, and instead share the lessons that you took from each experience and how they made you more prepared for what comes next. Now, here's an example. A disempowered frame could be, oh man, that company was toxic, I was burnt out, I was responsible for way too many things. Now, I am truly sorry if you're experiencing anything like this right now. Just remember, the best is yet to come. This is a lesson that you were meant to learn, and please do not say the word toxic in an interview, ever. It will not serve you, no matter how true it feels in your body. Now, an empowered frame here could be that environment was really challenging. It taught me that I thrive when I can bring order and strategy to a business. That clarity is what I'm carrying forward. Do you see the difference? One is draining, the other is magnetic. Step 3, position yourself as the authority with self-awareness and confidence. You're not just another candidate. You are the intentional professional who has taken ownership of her journey. When you own your story, you stand out as the woman who makes thoughtful, intentional moves, the professional who grows fast and learns from every step, and the authority who brings both results and lived experiences that are worthwhile. And here's the deeper truth. The opportunity that is truly meant for you will recognize your value. When you show up authentic, self-aware, and confident, the right people in the right roles are going to meet you there. You don't have to prove or force. You simply need to embody the authority that you already are. You know you, and you know your path, and you know your capabilities better than anyone. Now, step 4, quick win, reframe one resume or LinkedIn line today. Okay, so take one bullet point from your resume or your LinkedIn profile from one of your experiences and elevate it from task-based to growth-based. For example, led client onboarding can turn into specialized in onboarding because retention was key to growth. Built a process that increased retention by 20%. Do you see how that one shift positions you as a strategic, results-driven professional instead of a task doer? That's the power of framing. So these 4 steps are how you stop blending in a sea of resumes, a sea of LinkedIn profiles, and you start becoming unforgettable. So to recap, here's the 4-step formula to position you with a story that gets you noticed. Show your growth path, not just your tasks. Frame your choices with radical responsibility. Own your story with self-awareness and confidence, so that the right opportunity will recognize you. And now take action today. So reframe one line at a time on your resume or your LinkedIn profile from one of your past experiences. There is so much power in strategic framing for you, for your opportunities, and for your mindset, honestly. And the language that you choose and the story you tell will allow you to shift from box checker to strategic thinker and trusted authority. Now, if you're listening to this thinking, I don't even know where to start with telling my story, or I don't think I have much of a story to tell, I promise you, we can take any circumstance and position it appropriately based on the direction that you are trying to move in. This is exactly what I help my clients do. I work with motivated women who are ready to pivot into aligned roles and build personal brands to establish themselves as the authority and reach their professional potential. Career pivots combined with effective storytelling and personal branding is truly life-changing. You get to succeed in a way that feels real and meaningful to you. So if you are done blending in and you're ready to own your unique story, book a free clarity call with me. The link is below. Here's what I want you to remember. Your pivots are not problems. They are proof of your motivation to do important, energizing, and meaningful work in this lifetime. Your story isn't messy. It's magnetic when it's told strategically. Strategic storytelling isn't lying. It's the thoughtful, positive, growth-minded framing that brings you the opportunities to get noticed and change the world. And your unique decisions are actually the reason that you'll be the obvious choice. So stop shrinking or hiding your story. Start owning it, because the opportunities, the clients, and the roles that you want, they're already waiting for you to learn to tell your story better and inspire others to work with you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I know you are busy, so the fact that you are investing in your growth tells me that you're serious about building a career and a life that actually feels meaningful. I'm so grateful to have you here. This video is just one part of my Career Clarity Blueprint series where I'm outlining the 7 steps to pivot with confidence and build a career you love. If today's episode resonated, make sure you catch the rest of the series because each step builds on the last, and I don't want you to miss the entire blueprint. So if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. If you're watching on LinkedIn and if you found this helpful, it would mean the world to me if you could give it a like or share it with a friend who's also craving a career reset. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video where we will be talking about how to network in a way that feels fun and natural, not cringy. I'll see you there.